Hello, it's Pen Pen. I'm here in a creative world in the 114 snapshot because I have a question that needs answering. And the question is, are beets useful now? Are they? Because of course what's changed in 114 is the addition of the composter. Does this mean there's actually a use for those stupid pink vegetables? Stick around and find out. So the other day I was watching a video by Von Tom 2020 of 2020 MC Gaming where he explored the bamboo farm in the 114 snapshot. Now bamboo is a huge improvement on kelp in terms of you don't have to craft it before you can burn it in a furnace, and it grows really quickly. So as you know, I'm making an arcology in 114, which is a self-contained living area, and it has limited space, like really limited space. So I wanted to make a micro farm, a micro bamboo farm driven by bone meal. And I thought, well, why don't I use beets as my bone meal source, putting them into a composter? Will it work? Well, here's my hypothesis. Okay, so we get our villager and we give him beet seeds. And when we give him beet seeds, then he produces beets and seeds. Amazing. So we give some of the seeds back to the villagers. The other seeds with the beets go into the composter. The composter then produces bone meal for us. The bone meal goes on the bamboo shoots, and the bamboo shoots give us bamboo. So to start, I need to build a micro bamboo farm. Shouldn't be too difficult. So it turns out I need this nifty thing called torch tower, which is completely new to me. But hey, that's educational, right? So I need a thing on top of this and another one here, and then there, and one of those. Oh, good. Now what? Is this gonna work? No. Well, it's doing things. Let's try it with some bamboo. Two, da-da, 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 da-da. No. What have I done wrong? Oh! So how do I get it to retract? After mucking around for ages, this is the limit of what I've managed to do. Perfect. That is the first bit of our farm done. Productivity is going to be pretty low. So let's ramp that up by adding a bone meal dispenser. Oh, how do you do that thing? Observers? Is it two observers doing ticky things? And ticky. Now if I fill this with bone meal. Yeah, now we're cooking. Yeah, no, stop. Shh. Also might need a way to turn that on and off. Oh, I need a sticky piston with the thingamabobbles. I'll worry about that later. Okay, you see how technical I am? I'm really good at this. Yeah, so at this point I know a lot of you are just screaming at me saying, you can put the observer on top of the piston. And I'm like, shut up. Fixing it now. It's fine. I totally thought of that. And here we have it finally, a working prototype. This is my bamboo farm. This is the composter, which produces bone meal for the bamboo farm. And this is the beet farm with Bob. Hi, Bob. Bob is farming for me. So the beets and seeds come out. They fill up the composter. The composter sends bone meal to the bamboo farm, and away we go. So to test this, what I'm going to do is empty out the little bit of bamboo that's been working away there. I'm going to make sure that there's no beets and seeds. I'm going to start off by putting in a stack of bone meal and just see from that how many bamboo we get. There we go. Now he's cooking. For some reason he always takes a while to get going, and look at this, they're toddling along. Down here, are we getting some? Yes, the composter is filling up. This is the best thing ever. I love automated things like this. It's filling up and it's sending bone meal down here, which will get dispensed in a minute onto the bamboo Yay! And then we get bamboo. That is going fantastically. What a superb little system. And that will fit perfectly in the arcology. I mean, it doesn't need to be this long. It's just unfortunate that I built the farm all the way over here. And I had to transport all of the items over there. But the main problem in this farm is Bob. You know, Bob, you're just not pulling your weight, dude. You're not pulling your weight. All right, let's see. So 1 stack of bone meal gave us 12 bamboo. You know, I've just had a thought, and this is kind of embarrassing. But if I have a stack of bone meal, why don't I just put the bone meal in the dispenser? Yeah, so let's try that. Test number 2. I'm going to put 64 bone meal in here and see. Whoa. Why is it flying out everywhere? There are no holes. How are you getting out? How many did we get? Oh gosh, quite a bit more. Test number 2. 64 bone meal gave us a stack and a quarter of bamboo. So at this point, completely dejected, I mentioned to WOW 2020 that my original hypothesis had gone kaput, and she said that Von Tom said use cactus. I was like, okay, I can do that. So what I did was I set up this. So we have a little mini cactus farm, and remember, everything has to be mini to fit into the arcology. So mini cactus farm, mini melon and pumpkin farm, and a mini sugarcane farm. And I just wanted to see which of these would work best. So what I've done is I've locked the hoppers coming out of the composters, so they're not going to go in here. And I just want to see how much bamboo we get. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run this for 2 minutes on a tick speed of 1,000 and see what happens. All right, so our cactus didn't actually do that well. We only got 1 bone meal out of it. The sugarcane, we managed to get 3. But melons and pumpkins, look at that, 11 bone meal. So melons and pumpkins look like the way to go. I'm actually quite impressed with that because that's a low resource farm, takes up a very small amount of space and produces a reasonable amount of bone meal. So what I want to do now is see how many bamboo we get out of that bone meal. Let's get rid of this torch and see how many bamboo we get out of that. Answer, 14 bamboo. That's interesting. So not a huge increase. At this point, I feel that it's only fair we give Bob a chance to redeem himself. So what I'm going to do is exactly the same. I'm going to set the tick speed to 1,000. I'm going to run it for 2 minutes and see how many bamboo we get and do a little comparison. All right, let's see what we got. We got nothing. Nothing. I mean, and part of that is that growing these things is slow. Unless you have a bone meal powered farm, you are not going to get much. And even when you do have a bone meal powered farm, as demonstrated earlier on, yeah, productivity pretty rubbish. But just out of curiosity, how much bamboo did we get in that 2 minutes? On its own, 4 stacks and 2. Well, this has been a really interesting experiment. My original hypothesis that you could use a beet farm to power a composter to provide bone meal for your bamboo farm Absolute rubbish. Completely not worth the resources and time. Honestly, maybe if you had an enormous beet farm, it might be worth it. But then the question becomes why? Because bamboo on its own just grows so ridiculously fast that you really don't need to power it with bone meal. Then the composter kind of is just something fun to get rid of all your old seeds in, but it's not really practical. I honestly cannot see a use. If you think that you can see a use for the composter beyond just getting rid of excess seeds, please let me know in the comments. I would love to hear what you think. And, you know, if it's a good idea, I'm all up for trying it. I will build it and I will see if it works, because right now I'm not going to make any of these things in the Arcology, except of course the basic bamboo farm, because it honestly works just fine. Thank you so much for coming along with me today in this bizarre little experiment. I learned a lot. I hope you learned something too, and I hope it gave you some ideas. If you do have any great ideas you'd like to share, or if you think what I've done is absolutely a waste of time and you can do better, let me know. Tell me what you think I should do. Link to your video about it. I'd love to see it. Thank you again for listening. This is Pen Pen out.